What's going on, guys? It's Aurora YJ here, coming at you with my Dinosaur deck profile for the November 2021 format. I'm very excited to bring you this deck profile. It's gone through a lot of changes since the last one. At least it's a lot to me due to personal experience with playing the deck. And I also want to go over some of the combos because I know a lot of YouTubers haven't covered the combos since like Scraptor came out. And I just kind of want to refresh the brains of people that are either forgetting how to play Dinosaur in this format, or they are just learning the deck and they need some help learning the combos and everything, because there's a lot of combos with the deck, though I will only be showcasing about 2. And so I don't want to waste too much time. For those of you that know, this deck is my baby, and so I'm probably not going to go into too much detail with what each individual card does. However, I am going to be pointing out a few tech choices and everything, and I will seem very passionate when I'm talking about it. Dinosaur best deck, baby. Anyways, let's get right into it. Hopefully my camera quality is fine, as I am using my EOS webcam utility, which is what you would use if you want to use like a Canon DSLR as a webcam. And I'm doing that just so I can get this angle because I cannot film at the table today. And so I'm gonna try to work well with what I have. But anyways, let's get right onto the deck profile. I'm sorry for wasting your time. To start off, we play 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Very standard. This boss monster is probably one of the best boss monsters, at least in the main deck. Absolutely crazy card. Beats over everything, flips things on the opponent's turn, easy to summon, sends things to grave. It's so good. Also, if you notice, I am putting my stuff over on the side instead of right in the center, because I will be using the little sidebar, which should be located right over here, to help you see if in case you are busy or something like that, or if you're just lazy and you want to skip through the video. That's fine by me. But we're starting off with the big dinosaurs. Like I said, we have our 2 copies of UCT. That's pretty standard. We still play the 1 copy of Dogoron the Mad Flame Kaiju. I absolutely love this card. I see no real reason to take it out. I bricked it on it a couple times going first, but I've learned that in games 2 and 3, I kind of want to go second more often than not, especially with my side deck cards. And so I do not mind running the 1 Dogoron. It comes up in, I think in my last tournament out of a 5-rounder, I used it at least once every match, if not more. And that's absolutely crazy, to be honest. Like, this card outs almost every problem. It's super good against Dragoon. It's good against decks using Phoenix Enforcer that aren't using the Scythe lock. It's good against, like, so many threats. And so I very much enjoy still maining the 1 copy of Dogoron, even though a lot of Dino players are cutting it out. And then we do still run the 1 copy of Pankratops, obviously, because Pankratops is one hell of a card. Not just on its own, but also as a double Evo target in case you already have Tyranno. That's it for the big dinosaurs. On to our medium dinosaurs. We have 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. I do apologize for the glare on the cards, by the way. I promise you that's just the sleeves, even though they're matte sleeves. It looks like crap, but we have 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor, still one of the best normal summons in the game, still not hit on the ban list, and so we're gonna max out on this bad boy as much as we can. And then 2 copies of Scraptor. We did get our super rare Scraptor from the OTS. Look how shiny and pretty. But we had 2 copies of our Scraptor. I do not recall if our last deck profile ran 3, because I do recall that I think it was afterwards I started running 3 for a bit, because I was tired of drawing like 1 of them and not having Lost World or anything, and so it was just dead. The entire scrap package was basically just dead. Because you didn't have the second Scraptor in deck that you could special summon, and so it was really obnoxious. So I ran 3 for a bit, but I was bricking on it a lot, and so I feel like this would be better to run at 3 if you had like Prosperity, right? But keep in mind, this is not a Prosperity build. I do not own Prosperity. I'd probably play it if I had it, but whatever. But I feel like 2 is fine for the most part. You don't need to use the scrap engine. I do actually end up siding it out games 2 and 3 more often than not, but it is nice to have like at least not any of them in your hand. It's nicer to not have 1 in hand than it is to have 1 in hand, and so I don't know, you can bounce around between 2 and 3, though I do feel like 2 has probably served me the best, because I kept having bricking issues when I was playing it at 3. And then we have the 1 copy of Scrap Chimera, which thankfully, for all of you new Dino players, is being reprinted in Maximum Gold Eldorado. But I think I will stick with my beautiful old school super rare that I spent like $50-something on. Anyways, continuing with the regular dinos, we have 1 copy of our Miscellaneousaurus, the lifeblood of this deck. Rest in peace, King. hopefully all these Dino reprints and Eldorado signify that he's coming back to 2 or 3. I would kill for 2 Misc. This deck would play entirely differently with more than 1 copy of Misc. I'm just telling you now. But I really love this card. This card's absolutely insane. The only gold rare that I actually really enjoy because it looks really cool on him. And then 1 copy of Giant Rex because he's Giant Rex. And that's it for the medium dinosaurs. On to the little ones. We have Animador and Archosaur at 2 copies. Again, I have the original printing, which I'm happy about, even though it cost me a lot of money, because it did get that reprint in the Megatins, which makes it a lot more accessible to newer players. He's like, what, $1? Which is really, really crazy. Dinosaur's honestly going to be one of the most affordable rogue decks after this Eldorado, I'm telling you right now. But 2 Archosaur, optimal ratio, honestly. There's really no need to run more than 2. And then we have 3 copies of Baby Ceresaurus. I am still an avid fan of 3 Baby. I do not mind drawing multiple copies of Baby as long as I still have a combo. Going second, I really enjoy drawing Baby. And then I also like to have my Petite Pteranodon after doing the combo. Because if you cut 1 Baby, you can still do full combo, but you will have no babies left in your deck in order to pop for later. And so I do like Sieg Baby, and I also like having a baby left over. So 3 Baby, and then we have the 1 Petite Pteranodon. I probably should have just set that down at the same time. We have the 1 copy of Petite Pteranodon and the 3 Baby. I really like this ratio. We'll like cut it down to 2 at some point. Maybe if I played Prosperity, I probably would. But for now, I feel like 3 Baby and 1 Pteranodon is definitely the way to go. At least for this particular build. It suited me well, at least. And that's it for all the dinosaur monsters. Onto the hand traps is where the deck has really changed since last time. We are still playing our 3 Gamma, 1 Driver, and 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Kind of standard, honestly, for this deck. This is one of the best decks to run Gamma, in my opinion, because of all the different scenarios I can come up with it. Again, I'm so sorry about that glare. It is terrible. It's really annoying me. But very nice hand trap ratio. I believe in the last one we had our 2 copies of Effect Veiler as well. This is my ideal hand trap ratio, 4-3-2, except this isn't the only section of hand traps that we have. We actually added something new to the mix. We now play 2 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in the main deck. And let me just tell you, I have really, really enjoyed this card. This card has, I've always been on the fence about Ghost Bell, right? I always thought it was a bit too niche. It'd probably never come up, things like that. Only comes up in certain situations. Feels more like a side deck card than anything for certain formats. Well, this format is covered in graveyard stuff. People are adding from grave to hand, they're specialing from grave, yada, yada, yada. And they're banishing from grave, everything like that. So I was like, you know what? I'll give Ghost Bell a try. Everybody else is using it, and I love this card. This card has come up almost every single time, but I think twice when I drew it. And the times that it came up, it either stopped my opponent from playing completely, stopped them from getting a full board, or stopped them from being able to kill me going after I went first and had a bad hand. This card is just so good. I wouldn't play 3. I don't think it's as good as Ash, obviously. It's not as oppressive, and that was always my opinion, was that I would never play Bell because Ash is more oppressive. But I do feel like this card is definitely worth it. If you are not maining Ghost Bell, if your locals is full of the meta or whatever, or even some rogue decks, I would definitely give Ghost Bell a shot. This card is super, super good, and I cannot recommend it enough now. I'm very happy I have changed my opinion on the card. And that's it for the monsters. Let's go on to the back row. So, this is also different. We play 3 copies of Lost World, and that's it. No Mystic Mine, no set rotation, no terraforming. I know, the first 2 things I said I don't really run anyway, but I no longer run the one of terraforming along with the Lost World. I'm just perfectly fine with the 3 copies of Lost World, and there's a good few reasons for that. So first off, I was bricking on Lost World a lot, which you'd be like, oh, how can you brick on Lost World? That card's so good. Well, when you go first and draw 2 Lost World, 1 terraforming, 1 driver, and 1 baby, things can be really, really bad. And another thing is that Lost World is no longer a necessary card 9 times out of 10. Obviously, there are 2 combos in which you need Lost World, which is opening Ovi Lost World and Scraptor Lost World. Sorry, there's eraser shavings on my mat. Opening Ovi Lost World or Scraptor Lost World is mandatory, but it's not like old Dino where you open Lost World and you get an even bigger combo now. Opening Lost World is more often than not just sort of a it's sort of a gift, you know. It's just like, oh, cool, we have an additional thing saying our opponent can't target, or also in case we need to pop something on the field, like the token, and get a protection. In theory, depending on how you want to do it, if you don't mind having to make a Dweller instead of like a Logia or something, you can actually also use the Lost World as an extender to get a Pankratops on board too. But it's a bit too specific in my opinion. So Lost World is more often than not either a going second sort of like mandatory for a combo like that. Like when you have any normal summon in Lost World, you know, that's full combo going second. But going first, it's more often than not just a gift. It's just win more almost. So no longer need like 4 copies of Lost World. You're going to draw Lost World regardless whenever you do need it. And so I think 3 copies with no terraforming is perfectly fine. And then rest of the back row, I don't think has changed very much. We have 3 Fossil Dig and 2 Double Evolution Pill because neither were hit on any ban lists. Honestly, I would love 3 Misc with 1 Fossil Dig, but you know, we're not that lucky. Now we have our 1 Twin Twisters because I do like manning back row removal. Our 1 copy of Called by the Grave because it's Called by the Grave. Would I play Cross Out in here? Probably, honestly. I'd probably play 1 Called by 2 Cross Out because we are playing literally almost every relevant hand trap right now. And we did put back the 1 copy of Upstart Goblin. 39 cards is better than 40 cards, and again, we aren't running Prosperity, and the extra 1,000 almost never matters. And that's it for the main deck. Again, we are playing 40 cards, but the Upstart is technically 39, and I'm very happy with my current ratio. Again, I do wish Misc was at more copies, but for what we have now, that's perfectly fine. On to the extra deck. We have 1 Dulka and 1 Logia. Oh god, the glare is very bad on that time. We have 1 Dulka and 1 Logia. I know this is really different than what I used to have. I used to actually have 2 Dulka. However, I'm not running Prosperity, and the double Dulka very rarely comes up. Like, it came up a few times, but it never really came up to the point where it was super, super relevant, and I needed room in my extra deck for other things. I'm still tinkering with stuff in my extra deck. Like, right now, half of this, you can just mess around with whatever you want. But you definitely need to play at least 1 Dulka, and then having Logia is still really nice, especially because I do not play Savage Dragon, but also because Logia itself is very good. Next up, we have 1 Bujinki Amaterasu. This is something that definitely has changed since the last deck profile. We finally got our hands on 1, and we got an ulti, which is really nice, even if it is a little beat up. Kind of wish we got a Ghost Rare, but I also really like ultis. And so, Bujinki Amaterasu, for those of you that do not know, is a very good card in Dinosaur. It requires 3 level 4 monsters, and on either player's turn, you can detach a material from it, and depending on whose turn it is, depends on what effect you get. If it's your turn, you detach a material and target one of your level 4 or lower banished monsters. Sorry if I keep hitting my mic. You target one of your level 4 or lower banished monsters, and you special summon it, which basically replaces the copy, like the additional level 4 that you used for its summon, so it basically required 2 level 4s. And it's also how you get your Misc back onto your field and guaranteed into your grave instead of getting dropleted next turn with your Omega. And on the opponent's turn, including during their standby and stuff, you can detach material to target one of the level 4 or lower banished monsters and add it back to your hand. So if you really want to and you need the protection, you can add Misc back on your opponent's standby, but beware of droplet. But what I like to do is I use my double Evo, I banish my Scrap Chimera, and so I get the Misc back on my turn, and then my opponent's standby, I get back the Scrap Chimera in my hand, so that I have a follow-up rank 4 guaranteed for next turn, which is really, really nice. And again, this is mainly here to recycle Misc, but it can have a bunch of different applications, honestly. You can special babies back, you can special Archosaur, which I've done many times while having a baby on field or in hand. You can get back Ovi, you can get back Misc, Giant Rex, Scraptor, Scrap Chimera. You can get back literally all of your medium and small dinosaurs, which is really, really cool. I really enjoy this card. His stats are also really nice. He's 26 by 25, and so your opponent's probably going to have a hard time outing him if they really feel like it's necessary. And it's a lot more reliable than Omega, in my opinion. On to the other rank 4s, we do play like multiple toolbox cards. We have Dweller because it's Dweller. We have Tornado Dragon because we hate back row. We have Dugaris. I am still one of the few Dinosaur players that plays Dugaris. I love this card way too much to let it go. It's absolutely insane. Most of my beginning boards, if I go first, if they can't out it with something like Droplet or Dark Ruler, next turn I just make Dugaris and kill them, guaranteed. And then 1 copy of Baguska. This can be literally anything you want. In fact, most of these, except for like Dweller, can be anything you want. But Baguska, I'm considering replacing it with Savage Dragon if I can pick one up, but it's not really mandatory. I also kind of want to test out Lambda, you know, all sorts of stuff. But Baguska is still really funny and kind of unfair at times. It just wins you games that you probably shouldn't win. And so I'm still kind of playing it for now, at least. And that is it for the Xyz monsters. Let me just put them over here. On to the other stuff. We have our links. We have 1 Link Karibo, 1 Secure Gardena. I know I really wanted at one point to cut the Secure Gardena once I got rid of my extra and package and knowing that I wasn't playing Prosperity or anything. But honestly, it comes up way too much. Like, summoning Archosaur, like normal Archosaur with no dinosaurs in hand and double Evo in hand. Like, normal Archosaur, link in a Link Karibo, link in a Secure Gardena, make Tyranno, and then your opponent can't do anything after that. It comes up way too often, and so Secure Gardena is still pretty neat. Again, I keep hitting my microphone. I am so terribly sorry. 1 Scrap Wyvern. This is probably one of the best legacy support Link 2s in the fucking game. Card's absolutely cracked. It does so much. It can even have follow-up for the next turn if you do play the 3rd Scraptor. Really, really cool. 1 Pentastag because it still works really funnily with Dugaris. Nightmare Package. Phoenix Unicorn. I really want to pick up the alternate art Unicorn if I can with Idly on it, or Ibly. Very, very cool. I do love the World Legacy lore. And then 1 copy of Appaloosa, which I didn't think I would really like, but again, you know, it doesn't really matter because Lost World is kind of just meh. So, and then finally, we have 1 copy of Cyframe Lord Omega. I know I said that Bujingi Amaterasu kind of power creeps Omega in terms of getting Misc back, but Omega is very good for other situations. If you Gamma on your turn, getting a free Omega is really pog. You can just go ahead and rip something out of your opponent's hand in case they have another hand trap that might be a problem. So, there's always that. Still a very good card. And that is it for the deck profile itself. I really hope you guys enjoy the deck profile and all the cards and stuff in it. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the comments. Again, this isn't a Prosperity build, so yeah, if you are playing Prosperity, yours might look a little different than mine. But now I'm going to go ahead and meet you guys during the combo. If you don't want to watch the combo, that's fine, and I'll see you later if that's the case. But I do hope to see you in the combos, and let's get right into it. Alright guys, welcome to the combo tutorial. I'm going to be showing you guys 2 different combos today, but before I get into that, I do want to say if you made it this far, please sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more great Yu-Gi-Oh content. I hate to be one of those guys, but I am shooting for 300 subscribers by the end of the year, which I know for a fact we can do, but it's always really nice to, you know, kind of ask for a little bit of a helping hand. But anyways, I'm not going to rant on for too long. I'm going to start off with the main basic combo of Dinosaur. Let me adjust my camera real quick. I'm sorry for the audio quality now, by the way, because I'm no longer using my actual microphone. I'm using the built-in crappy camera mic, but anyways, this is the main bread and butter combo of Dinosaur, and this involves either opening Archosaur Baby, OV Misc, or Baby Misc. I believe those are the only 3 combinations. That or any way to get either of them, like Fossil Dig, you know, things like that. And so let's go ahead and get right into it. So first off, what you're going to do is you're going to activate Misc. Misc is going to add blanket protection to all your guys on field. Unfortunately, not in your grave, which a lot of people still don't seem to understand, which is really weird. That's probably why they want Misc to stay at 1 or to get banned. But you're going to start off by activating your Misc, leaving your guys unaffected by your opponent's activated effects this main phase. Then you're going to follow that up by banishing Misc, only itself, in order to summon a level 1 directly from your deck. And of course, you're going to go for the best level 1 in the game, Animadorned Archosaur. Sorry if the field layout is a little bit weird. I am filming at my desk and I barely have any room, and I don't want you guys to have to see like the wood of my desk, so I don't know, I'm sorry guys, but let's put the Banished Misc up here. But we're going to summon Archosaur off of Misc's second effect. And so now we're going to use Archosaur's effect on summon. It's going to destroy Baby in order to search a double evolution pill. Specifically double evolution pill because we don't use any of the other pills. So now we have our guaranteed Tyranno here. And then Baby is going to activate Engrave. And then Baby is obviously going to summon our Soul Beating Oviraptor. You know, this is all pretty standard dinosaur stuff, by the way, up until we get to the scraps, so I probably won't explain too much, but Ovi is going to go ahead and search on summon. He's going to grab another copy of Baby Ceratosaurus. And so now, we haven't normal summoned yet, so I'm going to normal summon the Baby Ceratosaurus. And then Ovi's second effect is going to activate, or we're going to activate, it's not a trigger effect. We're going to target this baby. We're going to destroy this baby to summon the baby that was already engraved. And usually here we'd go for another Misc or a Giant Rex and regular Dino combo, but we have advanced, we have evolved per se. So baby's going to trigger and get us a nice and shiny Scraptor. Look at that, he's so beautiful. We're going to summon that right into our middle zone. And now we're going to use Scraptor's effect, targeting baby. If you don't know what he does, he targets a monster you control, including himself, and pops it for effect. And if you do, you get an additional normal summon of a scrap monster this turn, which is really cool. And so he's going to target baby, it's going to pop baby. Now this baby's going to trigger again, and we're going to get another dinosaur in the form of our third Baby Ceratosaurus. If you do not play the third baby, go ahead and just summon Petit Pteranodon here, it makes literally no difference. And so now we have all of that done. So here you don't need to do this, but I like doing it just in case. First, before we do anything else, I'm going to go into Link Karibo, then I'm going to go into our other shenanigans. Let me move my camera up a little bit. You guys might see a little bit of the wood of my desk, but I don't think y'all mind that much. Let me get these ugly headphones out of the way. So we're going to go Link Karibo, and then we're going to use these two for a Scrap Wyvern. You don't need the Link Karibo usually, but I like to have it just just in case we get stopped like here or something. That way we have a guaranteed non-dino engrave. And so now we have Scrap Wyvern, again one of the best legacy support Link 2s in the game. So now we're going to activate Scrap Wyvern. It's going to target Scraptor, special it, and then pop a card on my field. I'm going to special the raptor, and I'm going to in turn pop the same raptor. So now we're going to have two effects that activate. Chain 1, we're going to activate Scraptor. Because it was popped by the effect of a scrap card and sent to the grave, we get to search for a scrap factory or a non-tuner scrap monster. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab our Scrap Chimera. And Scrap Wyvern is going to trigger, and we're going to special a scrap monster from the deck and pop any card on the field, which includes the opponent's field. Keep that in mind. If you're going second and you're making this board, or your opponent has something like Phantasma or whatever, instead of summoning this baby, just go ahead and summon the Giant Rex like outright, and that way you can use your pop on the opponent's card. But for now, we're going to special a second raptor from the deck and pop the baby. This happens at the same time, by the way. And so now baby's going to trigger. Now we get our beautiful bouncing baby boy, Giant Rex. I love Giant Rex. He is my son. And now, we have an additional normal summon of a scrap monster due to Scrap Raptor. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon Scrap Chimera. Let me put this Misc further up. We're going to normal summon Scrap Chimera with our additional normal, and on summon it is going to target the Scrap Raptor in our grave and special summon it. So now we have a completely full board, including the extra monster zone. What do we do from here? So what you're going to start with is you're going to use Scrap Wyvern, Scrap Chimera, and I'm going to go ahead and use Scrap Raptor in order to make your Appaloosa with 3 negates with it, which is really nice. If you have Lost World on field, you can go ahead and go into something else. I like doing Dolka and then like splitting it up with like a Dweller or something too, but you know, it usually doesn't really matter. But now we have our Appaloosa here. And what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to use these 3. The order you do it in is very important if you are playing Savage Dragon, so you probably shouldn't do it in this order, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway like this. I'm going to go ahead and use all of them in order to make our Bujinki Amaterasu. And you may think, oh yeah, 3 materials, that's a lot, and this is what I thought at first, but when you really think about it, you're going to activate his effect, and he's just going to replace the material that you use as the 3rd material, basically. And so we got our Giant Rex engraved now, and we have our Misc back on field, which is really cool. And again, you can guarantee the Misc engrave if you do this in a different order. I'm doing it in the wrong order, to be honest, but it's whatever. You're still going to get the same outcome in the end anyway. So now I'm going to finally activate our double evolution pill. I'm going to banish our Giant Rex and our Scrap Chimera, and I'm going to summon the one, the only, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I like to summon it right under Appaloosa in case you want to use her for a Pentastag next turn, but it really doesn't matter. And after that resolves, we're going to get our Giant Rex effect. Giant Rex is going to special itself. And then you're going to go ahead and use these two for kind of whatever you want. Usually, I go for a Logia here, but you can also go for something like a Abyss Dweller. You can go for a Dolka if you, for some reason, need more than 3 monster negates. You can go for, I guess, Bagooska, but why would you? You know, anything like that. Tornado Dragon. Anything your heart desires in your rank 4 toolbox. But that is the main combo. So the main combo ends you with a 3-negate Appaloosa, an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, a Logia or any other rank 4 you really feel like, your Misc back Engrave, as well as Giant Rex, and then Bujinki Amaterasu, which during your opponent's standby is going to detach a card. I like doing Scraptor just in case, and it's going to add this Scrap Chimera back. So next turn, you have a guaranteed normal summon, special Raptor, make a rank 4, being Dugaris. So just in case you do it in the wrong order like I did, and you don't get Logia off, so you can't put Misc back in grave, you can go ahead and still get your guaranteed rank 4 this way. And so again, that is the main combo. I'm going to show you sort of a brick combo, but it's a combo nonetheless. It ends off on a still pretty decent board, and it requires only a little bit of resources. So I'll see you there. Alright, so now we're on to combo number 2, and combo number 2, again, is sort of like a brick combo, where it looks like it'd be a bad hand, but it can actually lead to a pretty decent board. So this combo requires Lost World and Scraptor, which I say it's a brick because you do not want to see Scraptor in your hand. Unless you have this combo specifically, you never want to see him in your hand 99% of the time. I'd be so inclined to say 99.9% of the time. Like, he's actually so bad to have in your hand. So let's go ahead and get into the combo, and I'll show you why it's not the worst thing to draw him, at least if you have Lost World. So you're going to start off by activating your Lost World, of course. You can put it all the way up here. And Lost World is Lost World, so it's going to be a good card, because you're going to normal summon Scraptor, and you're going to go ahead and give your opponent a Lost World token. Let me actually pull this down a little bit so I have room for the token. Beautiful. Here we go. Sorry, I had to find my token. I forgot I'd have to pull it out. I kept it in the box because I thought I didn't need it. But so now we have this board state right here. And so now you're going to activate Scraptor's effect. He's going to target himself to blow himself up and get an additional normal summon of a Scrap. So you're going to target himself and nuke himself. And now he's going to activate Engrave. Remember, if he's popped by a Scrap card, you actually get to search for a non-tuner Scrap. So I'm going to go ahead and add our Scrap Chimera, just like last combo. And so now we're going to use our additional normal. We're going to normal summon Chimera, targeting Raptor Engrave to special the Raptor Engrave. And we're actually going to go ahead and directly link these two into our Scrap Wyvern, right up here. And so Scrap Wyvern, you're going to activate the effect. You're going to target either one of these. It doesn't matter because you already used Raptor's effect. So I'm just going to target Raptor, summon it, and pop it. And now you're going to activate Wyvern. You're going to special a Scrap from your deck and pop any card on the field. And so you're going to go ahead and special your second Scrap Raptor. But now you're going to pop a card in the field. You're going to pop the Lost World token. However, Lost World is going to protect the token. And you're actually going to pop a baby instead. And so now baby will trigger. You're going to get your Soul Eating Oviraptor. Oviraptor is going to trigger and add your Miscellaneous Source, which is really, really nice. You're going to activate your Misc. And here, I've seen other YouTubers do it like really, really weird. So what they'll do is they'll use OV, target the token and everything like that, and they'll start working off of that. But it's so much better if you just activate Misc here. You're going to go ahead and banish 2, including one of these Scrap Raptors, keep the baby Engrave. You're going to go ahead and get a baby from deck. You're going to use OV, targeting the baby, pop this one, summon the other one. Apologies if it looks cramped. Let me spread this out a little bit. That looks a little bit better at least. You're going to pop the baby after summoning one. And now you're going to summon Anoadorned Archosaur off of the baby you just popped. And then Archosaur is going to pop this baby. You're going to grab your double Evo, and baby's going to trigger specialing your Giant Rex. And so It would change a lot here if we had 2 Misc. Like, this could end up being a Nat Beast and, like, a Dolka and things like that. It could be super nice, but unfortunately Konami said we're not allowed to have nice things. And so we're going to go ahead and just do some random kooky weird stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and use Scraptor and Giant Rex for a Psy-Frame Lord Omega. I do Omega here because it makes it a little bit easier to get some stuff. However, you could also just go ahead. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get the Amaterasu instead, because I did hype up Amaterasu a lot. So let's go ahead and use these 3. Let's make our Bujinki Amaterasu. And now we can go ahead and use Amaterasu, detaching Giant Rex, specialing Misc. Beautiful. The Omega is better if you want to guarantee them engrave. However, if you want to do the Amaterasu for additional follow-up, you are more than welcome to. And so now you're going to activate your Double Evolution Pill, go ahead and banish your Giant Rex and your Scrap Chimera as per usual, and special your UCT directly from your deck, and Giant Rex will trigger, specialing himself, and you're going to use Giant Rex and Misc for a Dolka. It actually does matter what it is here because you don't have Appaloosa, and so it's similar to the original Dinosaur board where you had, like, instead of 2 rank 4s, you actually have Amaterasu as a rank 4, but he doesn't actually really do anything except for add follow-up and shit like that. And so then you also have your Dolka, that is your 2 monster negates. You have your Tyranno. Tyranno can go ahead and pop either one of these. Unfortunately, like, at least the Archosaur won't die at the end of the turn like some of the other combos that were shown did. So you have that still, but you have a few things I guess you can go into, but, like, why, you know? So these are kind of just going to stay here, which is whatever, but this is what your end board typically looks like with the Scraptor Lost World combo. If you have Misc, you actually end up getting a regular combo, I believe, or you at least get like a Pancratops on top of it. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to do it again. But this is what your quote-unquote brick combo looks like. Again, make sure next standby, specifically detach Scraptor from Amaterasu and add back your Chimera. That way you have your guaranteed follow-up. And this is how it's going to go. And so that's going to be it for the combo tutorial and for the deck profile video as a whole. If you liked it, please sure to leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel. It pushes the YouTube videos into the YouTube recommended. And if you really like this content and you want to see more like it, like the rest of my Yu-Gi-Oh content, please consider subscribing so we can hit our 300 subscriber milestone by the end of this year. Maybe we'll even hit it by the end of November, who knows, but we'll see that later. For now, that's going to do it for the video. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.